Should we be talking about the Iowa Hawkeyes as a team that can challenge Purdue, Illinois, or Wisconsin for the Big Ten title? Earlier in the week, did a video talking about the Tier 1 teams. I thought those teams that had separated themselves from the rest of the Big Ten, Purdue, Illinois, and Wisconsin, still feel that way, still feel those teams are Tier 1. But then I received a comment that says, what about Keegan Murray? He's a star player. He's been leading Iowa. He's a guy that can put a team on his back. What about the Iowa Hawkeyes? So I looked at them a little bit more, caught a little bit of their game against Michigan State, and here's what I got. Iowa is the top team in Tier 2. That's honestly how I feel right now. And, their last two victories against Ohio State and Michigan State, probably those other teams in Tier 2, having wins over them really convinced me that this is an Iowa team that can maybe challenge those top tier teams. So let's look at the Hawkeyes. Of course, they're led by Keegan Murray. When I look at Keegan Murray's game, I love his ability. He can. I think reminds me a little bit of Johnny Davis at Wisconsin. I think he's a better outside shooter than Johnny is at Wisconsin. Also, Johnny has a decent stroke for mid-range and as he gets outside. But I still think Keegan Murray is a little bit better. He leads the country in 25-point games this season in all of college basketball. That's 12 25-point games, so he's a consistently high scorer. But in that second half of that Michigan State game, I saw him go inside. I saw him go back to the basket against some smaller defenders. I saw him some tough physical plays, get to the line, that kind of thing. He's got a lot of versatility to his game. If it's not working from the outside, go in the paint. If it's not working back to the basket, try to drive to the hole and get to the line. I love the way Keegan Murray puts his game together, and he is one of the stars in the Big Ten, and he is a great scorer and outstanding player. The thing I like about Iowa, and I think the reason why Iowa had a really good success against Michigan State, they got a good perimeter game. This is a team that can get hot from the outside shooting the three-point shot. They have 10 or more threes in 3 of the last 5 games and 10 games total this season. So this team is one of the better teams in the Big Ten in shooting the three-point shot. We all know the saying, live by the 3, die by the 3. There have been some games for Iowa this season where they score pretty low. So, will that be something where they get cold? When they get cold, can they combat that? That will be a very interesting thing to keep an eye on as we go forward. I love Jordan Bohannon as a really good second option. He's 3rd in the Big Ten in made 3-point field goals here this season. This is a team that's built from the perimeter, which is good in today's college basketball. And this is a team that is also can rebound the basketball. 16-0 when they win the rebounding battle as well. Here this season. I like what I see with Iowa. Now, when I talk about comparing them to those Tier 1 teams, here's how I feel. I feel they have the pieces, but are the pieces good enough where they can stack up and go toe-to-toe with Jaden Ivey and the crew at Purdue? Can they go toe-to-toe with Davison and Johnny Davis and the crew at Wisconsin, Coburn and Frazier at Illinois? Right now, I'm not so sure. I think they have good pieces. I just don't know if they have the great pieces that those Tier 1 teams have. So, my mind can be changed. Last game of the season, Iowa taking on Illinois. That is a game. If Iowa wins that game, basically if they win out and run the table, you might change my mind. Because if you can get a win against a Tier 1 team like Illinois, they don't really have a lot of good wins this season. They got a win over Virginia earlier in the season, but Virginia hasn't been the Virginia of old, right? Only one ranked team in the ACC. What happened to ACC men's basketball? And you look at the rest of their slate, those last 2 wins against Michigan State and Ohio State are probably their best wins this season. They've lost to pretty much all the teams that are in the upper echelon of the Big Ten on their schedule. But if they can get a win against Illinois, prove themselves, this commentator might say, hey, why not Iowa? Why not? Might make a video also in the future about what a great athletics department Iowa has as a whole. So just watch out for that in the future when I got some downtime. I want to hear what you guys think. Do you think Iowa, do they have the muscles? Do they have the horses to go toe-to-toe with those Tier 1 teams? Or are they just the top team in Tier 2? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe. I'm Big Ten Ted, and we'll see you in the next one.